welcome back to This Is Knit. We are back again on Saturday lunchtime to check in with everybody and get you all caught up on what's been happening during the week and to answer all of your fantastic questions that you've been submitting through comments, through the Instagram stories, by email, all of that. So it's fantastic. Thanks a million. Loads and loads and loads of things to get through and stuff to show you today. For all of the people, if you're joining us for the first time, or if you're watching this back on our grid or on Instagram, IGTV afterwards, trying to think of all the acronyms, we're going to cover a lot today. So stay tuned if you're interested in hearing from Jenny a little bit more about Townhouse yarns and her answering the specific questions that were submitted for Jenny. We're going to be showing you new arrivals that come in during the week, including Camaro's Snifnug, which I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but there's been a lot of excitement about that. We'll be talking about the iKnit 7 knit along for those beautiful mitts with Alex Bird. There'll be yarn substitutions, project suggestions. We are putting together rainbows. We are talking about kits as well that we've added up to the website this week too. So hello everybody, thanks for joining us. Stay tuned if any of that is of interest, or if you've submitted a question, we're going to try and get to them all. Now, so I'm delighted that Jen's here today, so you don't have to just watch me for the full hour. What we'll do is I'm going to go through the questions that have been submitted, and when one pops up that's for Jenny, she's going to jump in. I'm going to run that way, she's going to come this way. Okay. Hello. So I will get started because I'm going to delayer. I said I would show off baubles first, or put it on, because it would remind me to tell you that a couple of weeks ago we're talking about putting together some kits for the baubles shawl, and we have now done that because Jenny was able to get some time in the dye studio to put together. We have kits A, B, C, D and E for baubles, so if anybody was interested in making that shawl by Andrea Mowry, there are some gorgeous, there's 3 different colours in the kits, 2 skeins of the main shade and 1 of each of the others. So that's baubles. Very, very quickly, to circle back, I think it was about 3 weeks ago when we talked about that, so we got there eventually. I will jump right in. Eliana, I'm in. Great. I will jump right in with the first question, which was actually for Jenny. Hooray, let's just get her on. So it's about pairing a mohair with Fade Street 4 ply to make a Love Note sweater. So it's from Galloping Cat, whose name is Kathy, and she was saying that she'd like to knit a Love Note sweater in Abbey Lace and Fade Street 4 ply, and what would go well with Pink Salt Lakes from Fade Street, which is one of my favourite colours. So here comes Jenny to show you.
Hello everybody, how is everybody today? Delighted to be here. It's been the first time in a little while that I've been here, but I get to play at my wall and move things around, and it makes me very happy. I don't know if you saw the story of me earlier on being like, hey. Okay, so to the question. Now, Pink Salt Lakes is this one here. So it is a kind of mauve and grey with tiny little kind of warm speckles through it. So it's that one there. And so we've kind of stuck on the purple side. We've picked up on these little bits, and the mohair that we have chosen, there's 4 possibilities. We think that would work really well with this skein. So it really depends. It's kind of, if you wanted to keep the look light, then you'd go for the lightest one, but by going all the way to this dark, you're really going to change how the Pink Salt Lakes comes through. Does that make sense? So it's...
Could you hold the skeins together with each one?
Sorry, I will. That's a very good idea. So obviously this is still going to stay very muted and understated. It's
for spring.
For spring. Lisa likes to just talk in the background. She's like, you're not saying it right, Jenny, so I'm just going to talk for you. I'm what, like a ventriloquist? That's
Here.
Okay, the next option here is, the first one was Damask. So that little light one there is Damask. This one here is Hushabye, so it's gotten a little bit darker. Then we went on to Velvet, Lisa's better at like making these things look better in the light. And then so Lisa picked all those are the ones, but I went for this because I think that would be really striking as well. So that one is Lady Melisandre. So that's like the other end of the scale completely. So I think all of those would work and enhance the colours within the Pink Salt Lakes.
Very good.
Yes. I will hand you back to Lisa now.
They're nice combos. I like those. Okay, I'm going to throw them in there. Okay, so question number 2 for today is, I'll take that out of the light there. Hopefully that might work. Okay, from Albanita Fashion Illustration, who said she would like to try knitting socks soon. Are fingering weights with 100% wool okay for socks? Like Donegal Darney. Okay, so it depends on the types of socks you want to make. So you can make socks with any yarn you like, basically, if you want them to be the at-home socks or night. Somebody was talking about nighttime socks there during the week. Kathy said thank you, so much choices. Glad you're on live. So Donegal Darney, yes, possible if you were just having the kind of, you put your feet up at the end of the evening and you're cuddled up on your couch. But really, if you want socks that are going to go inside your shoes for going out on your 5k walk, then you would want something that is a dedicated sock yarn, including having some nylon in it. Nylon or polyamide, sometimes it's called. So you get a range of ones in terms of the blends, probably a minimum of 10% of that in there, just so that your heels and your toes stand up to the wear and tear. And I have seen some other people use like let's say the Catty United socks, which is the little 25 gram ball, to just use a dedicated sock yarn for the toe and the heel, and then knit the rest of the sock in the yarn that you wanted anyway. So you get the little contrasty heels and toes, which can be quite nice. So if you did want to use Darney, then that would be what I would recommend, is to use something like Catty United socks on the other those hard wearing areas. Okay, so I hope that helps. Okay, Robin Gilson said, you're a beginner and you're trying to make your own basic ideas. And I think by that you mean you're trying to come up with your own basic patterns. And how can you relate your loops to centimetres or your stitches to centimetres? So essentially a lot of swatching, a lot of taking notes, a lot of maths is going to be involved in that. Probably a bigger conversation than we can have on an Instagram live. We have sometimes in the past done how to design simple shawl classes, all that sort of stuff. So if we can get a few more online classes happening, then keep an eye out for that, and we might be able to give you a little bit more insight. But in the meantime, if you're just thinking about designing like a wrap or something like that, play around with stitch patterns, do small samples of what you've got, measure it out and say, okay, in this cable repeat, that number of stitches is getting me this wide, and then you can kind of play and go from there for making the thing that you want to be the size you want. So yeah, very quick, but unfortunately just too big of a topic to talk about today. Ash Tange Oshala Dublin, I think you must run a yoga studio somewhere. Thank you for your question. You were saying, is Malabrigo sock coming back into stock soon? It is, by a very circuitous route. I can say circuitous. It is coming. The Malabrigo local warehouse in the UK, and they've had to send everything to the Netherlands first, and then it's coming back to us. So we do have a tracking number for that. I am hoping that it will be in with us by the week to come. So we will shout it from the rooftops when Malabrigo comes back in stock. We will let you guys know. I know there's a few people that are waiting on that. There's some Rasta, there's some Rios, and there's some sock yarn coming in those boxes that were ordered before Christmas. So listen, we'll move on. One thing that has arrived, hooray! Alison Blay said, can I have a look at the new Sniff Nook, please? You absolutely can. Thank you for asking. Okay, I can see there's more questions coming up during the thing, so what we'll do is we'll try and scan back if we've got some time at the end to have a look at those. If any of, I think maybe Sarah's probably watching, if you can gather a few, and if I've got time at the end, you could pop them in the comments again. That might save me from scrolling back. That'd be great. Sniff Nook. Does anybody know how to say that properly? I don't know. Okay, so I took a few pictures this morning of our own ones, just so you can see them in our stories as well. This is going to fall. Hang on. I just picked 2 colors. Here we go. So this is Camarose Sniff Moog, which we're all very excited about because it's one of the best sellers in the Camarose range, and I don't know why it took me so long to get it into the shop. Actually, somebody just caught me on the right moment and said, "Are you getting it in?" And I went, "Yeah," and I just added it onto the order. So what you've got in here is a lovely plump 50-gram ball with 110 meters in it. It is 55% alpaca, 35% cotton, I'm translating from the Danish on the front of the label here, and 10% merino wool, okay? And it's one of these tube yarns where you've got essentially a chain or a core made out of the cotton, and those beautiful alpaca and merino fibres are blown in to the centre of that core. So that's how you get this absolutely like super lightweight, really, the alpaca in this is so soft and gorgeous. Yeah, it's a squishy, cuddly, gorgeous fabric of stuff. And the reason why I think a lot of people were very excited about it is there's some beautiful designs by Petite Knitter. Yes, she's going, I don't know. I have pattern suggestions for that. And we have some of Camarose's own patterns as well that we're just getting up onto the website. So there's the My Size sweater and the My Basic sweater and the My Size cardigan, I think, but they're specifically for this, so just bear with us. Probably Monday or Tuesday we'll have them up on the website too. But we also printed out a few to show you that we thought would work really well. So that is the Felix cardigan, which is by Amy Christoffers, and Sarah is going to be making that, so she's going to be keeping us up to date with how that all goes. But that's beautiful. I don't know whether you can see, but there's a little lace detailing here, otherwise quite simple and straightforward, with a little bit of lace detailing in the raglan part of the sleeves. So that is the Felix cardigan. And then Big Love by Anstrick, and Cocoon is the next one. Yeah, so there's some of these guys here with Big Love. I love this. Another simple cozy cardigan right there. And then we have, yeah, so that's Big Love, and Cocoon is this hat, so we got some accessories too. And Turtle Dove, I like that a lot. So if they're very fast knitters among you, you know there's some snow due, you could make some of these sometime. I would be very impressed. And then we have Cocoon. These nice, again, accessories, lovely twisted headbands, and worsted brioche bandana cowl here as well. So a few ideas, but I can see an awful lot of cozy sweaters and cardigans happening in the next little while on that. Thank you for saying you like my sweater. I said I would wear it today because we talked last week about skeins of yarn that eventually told you what they wanted to be. And I told you about the little story about my Zweig sweater, because this is the colour that I dyed in the studio with Jenny one day, and it was going to just be a simple kind of bandana cowl, and then it spoke to me and it became a Zweig paired with, this is Camden tweed in Briar, and I think it shows it off the best way. Thank you. Okay, rainbow. Okay, Alison, we're only on page 1. Keep going. Alison was trying to put together a rainbow of colour for a baby blanket in DK or Aran weight yarn. Any suggestions? Yes, I do. So suggestion number 1 is if you want to go super bright primary, like Lego colours and all sorts of fun things like that. And that is this lot here, which is Rico Soft Merino Aran. So they are super bright and fun, and they're a washable Aran weight merino wool, so they're ticking all those baby knits boxes, which is soft, warm, washable, easy care. So there are, I won't call out all of the colour numbers, but if you like that, Alison, let me know, and I can send you over like a little draft order of that, depending on how many you need. So that was the super bright primary option, and our option number 2, that was Rico Soft Merino Aran that just went into the basket. Option number 2, in a handy little container here, is the new Semilla. I'm pronouncing it like it's Spanish. Now it might not be, but it's not. It's from Denmark. Samia organic DK weight, and the colors are a little bit more kind of heather toned and all of that sort of stuff. But if you wanted a slightly more saturated rainbow, then I think that would work really nicely. I'd love that. So there's your rainbows, Alison. Knits by Betty is saying she has Katia Big Merino and was wondering whether it's classed as a super chunky or what we would class as a super chunky from what we have. Okay, so Knits by Betty has got Big Merino. It's just a chunky. It's on the chunkier side of chunky, but you can knit it up onto the 7mm needle. But if you're looking for super chunky, we would say out of our selection at the moment, Rosarius 4 Millennium is super chunky, and Malabrigo Rasta again, which is coming soon, hopefully more colors and stuff. That would be super chunky. So you're talking about knitting it on 10mm needles up, 9 or 10mm needles up would be those guys. So it depends on what your pattern's calling for, but if it's super bulky, super chunky, and calling for like 9 or 10mm or upwards, then you'd want one of those guys. That's them. Okay, a question on the fly from Deirdre. Would Samilia be good for colour work? Yes, that's a quick one. I can take that one, it would. I think somebody else was asking about it for colour work, actually. All right, page 2, Sunny and Diggle. Yeah, the sun has just come out here. Just like, it's causing problems with my camera, but it's just come out. It's been miserable all morning. Yes. So Maruma Knits is thinking about making the throwback cardigan by Andrea Mowry, and was wondering what we'd suggest in our range for that. Okay, so throwback, I won't show these are for later. So that's the throwback cardigan, just so everybody knows which one we're talking about. And I went to another of the new yarns that we got in, which is the Hamilton #1 from BC Garn. And on a first look, when you jump onto the website and you look at this, there's an awful lot of very bright colours. Yeah, I tried to get a good spectrum of it, but I realised when it's sitting on the shelves now, like there's neons and different things like that. So I wanted to show you that when we take them out of that, there are some nice, moody, more natural tones if you wanted to make something like this throwback cardigan, because it's asking for a plump, kind of heavier iron weight, and this goes to 5.5mm needles. Just the way it's spun, it's really bouncy, and it's like I always fail to come up with other adjectives to describe things like that. Plump and bouncy. There you go. So there's some nice colours that I thought would work for that sweater, which is the throwback cardigan.
Like that.
Is it nice? Yeah. Hey, she agrees. It's all good. The dyer says it's okay. So that is my main pick for that. It could be mixed in with Rios, I suppose, when that comes back. If you wanted to throw in a bit of the soft Donegal tweed, it could be nice with it too. So it's good. You're coming up next. But Regina McCarroll was asking about the iKnit 7 knit along for the Hildy Knits. And she was saying that she doesn't have Facebook, and can she still take part? And the answer is, of course, absolutely. We've had a private Facebook group set up so that people can chat and show off their projects with each other. And also, so on the Monday after the cast on party, Alex is going to do a live and demonstrate some techniques and answer questions. But there's guidance in the pattern. You can message us as well separately, so there's no reason, and of course you can take part in the Zooms then as well, so you don't have to have Facebook. There's the cast on Zoom party, and then there's the show everything off, and there's Alex, and your pattern is very helpful with stuff in there, so I don't think anybody would be lost. And all, like, I'm going to be making a pair, I'm sure all of the other yarn shop owners are making their own ones if they haven't already, so there'll be loads of people with experience of the technique there to help you, as well as of course Alex. Ashley has already finished hers, says they're super fun knit, so that's great. I have to cast on. Actually, last thing before Jenny jumps in for the next question is last week that somebody was asking for a darker version of the kits, and so I wanted your opinion, if you don't mind, whether we think that this would work. So this is the sort of petrol-y colour of dark petrol colour of Darnie, and we were going to mix it with Mist and Trench. And it's great. Actually, Alex, if you could tell me as well if you think that would work, because she's there. And if so, Myrtle. Yeah, but I think we wanted. I put Myrtle with it earlier, and I thought it made it like slightly more feminine. We were trying to look for ones that where blokes might go for it as well. So, yeah, nice and moody. There you go. Approval. Okay, so we'll get a kit D, inventively named. We'll get a kit D listed by maybe later today, possibly first thing on Monday. Oh yay, Kathy Smith's kit has arrived. You're all set. That's brilliant. So the cast on date for that is the 19th, Friday 19th of February. So there's still time to get kits sent out. Now I need some water. So, Jenny, and you can take the next one down as well. So there's 2 questions for Jenny now, which is Townhouse yarns available in hour and weight? And what is your most unexpected popular colorway? And why do you think people love it? Onwards.
Hello. It is very cold in here today. Okay, so jumping into the first one. Is Townhouse yarns available in hour and weight? It's not at the moment. At this time, I think I have 10 different bases that I dye, and that takes up a lot of time. And it's just not something that we've added into the range. What I might do is do like a limited edition iron weight, because like that's not like putting too much on my plate. That's like a fun thing to do for a little while. So yeah, maybe we should add that in to the mix, like a super limited edition.
We got a plan for 15-year anniversaries and stuff.
15 years. Wow, that's crazy. 15 years. Yes, so kind of just keep an eye out, but at this moment in time it isn't a base that we do. Next one was, where was the other one?
The unexpected colorways.
The unexpected colorways. Okay, so we were I bounced this off Lisa because like I don't work in the shop anymore, so I was wondering kind of from their point of view recently what was the most kind of popular kind of colorways, and we've come up with 2 different options, and they're both on different ends of the spectrum. So Lisa chose one and I chose one. So the first one was Big Bird. This was Lisa's choice. It is so bright and fun, and I think when it was in the dye pot I was like, whoa. I was like, what would anybody ever knit with this? But I couldn't resist. It's really fun. So it's like a luminous yellow. It's got like pinks and purples and oranges in there, and I think what happened was Joy knit with it. So anything that Joy knits with seems to always be really popular. So she's like, oh, she's throwing things at me. So we have it also in the Tara base, which is here, and because Tara has yak in it, it shows really differently. It's mad. But yeah, if you wanted like an understated Big Bird, you could use that one. But yeah, Joy, yeah, there's Joy, hi. Yeah, anything she knits with seems to like be really popular. So one of the other things she knit with, and it was actually in the Peach Marguerite sample that I was meant to bring today and I totally forgot. But we paired Peach Marguerite with Bonfire. Like, look how dark that is. So when I dyed this, it was for a fade. It was part of a fade. And I was kind of looking at it going, it's very dark. Like, there's a lot of black in here. And from working in the shop way back when, you would get a lot of people steering away from really dark colours. Like, going, oh, won't be able to see the stitches. And so I was going, is it too dark? Are people going to be able to knit with it? And like, it's been really, really popular. So I'm going to keep dyeing it. I have a jumper in it. I love it. But it was kind of unexpected that it went so well just because of how dark it was. And I don't why do I think people like it so much?
They use it a lot as a contrast to show off the brighter shades.
Yeah, I think it is a great contrast. We've paired it with a lot of things. I've got it as a suggestion for another colour, another question, that somebody else asked. So that's coming up. But I think it's hard to, the lighting in here now. there's a lot of different colors, kind of undertones going on, and I think that is a huge draw for people, but I think it works really well in the fade that I chose for it. So that's why I think you like it. Does that make sense? Lisa's so much better at the talking. Sorry, it's called Bonfire. That one's called Bonfire. So I don't even know if it was around Halloween that I did it. Actually, it might have been, because the one that goes next in the fade was called Hallows. So it must have been like a Halloweeny kind of thing. Hold on, she's gonna throw yarn at me again.
No, I got Cirque. I'm not in Tara.
No, Clarendon. Incoming. There we go. I got it. So that's the next one. Like, doesn't show it off. Give me Clarendon. Second row, third from the last. There we go. I love being able to boss her around. There we go. So that is the next in the fade. And then we had Cirque, and then we had Mustard Seeds. It's actually Joy's filigree shawl was done in that. So she's not going to throw anything else at me. No, we're done for throwing. But those, yeah, so very different ends of the scale, both very popular. This is like super fun. Joy put it in her Medusa, sorry, thank you. Sometimes she's handy being my ventriloquist. And she paired it with velvet, and it's absolutely stunning. And Joy also used Bonfire. So Joy is basically my colour good luck charm. Yes. That's it. Okay, I'm going to hand you back off to Lisa, and I will be back soon.
I think she's all our good luck charms. Okay, name of the second fade. Filigree shawl, yes. Name of the second fade?
Sorry, it went Bonfire,
Bon-
Hallows,
Cirque and Mustard.
Mustard.
Okay, so Bonfire, Hallows, Cirque, and Mustard Seed. She's going to try and put it together, and then we'll show you. Great. And Soldotna as well. Okay, great. Enjoy. We lost track of all your projects. And she says, I love you, Jenny.
I love you too.
There you go. Cool. Okay, so Aileen Heen was asking about Jackie's jingle sweater that she did in the Mood Krimke, in the Mood Surprise and Opus. So I had to ask Jackie again what needle sizes she used, and she said she started off with the recommended size to cast on with, which was 3.25 millimeters, and then she changed to 3.5, which on reflection she thought was a little bit tight for the colour work. So then she went up to 4, and then she just kept going. So that is, as Jackie just winging it as she does. But so I think she's saying there is maybe start on 3.5 and the rest of it on 4 millimeter if you were going to start one yourself. Okay, for the jingle sweater. So that was for Aileen Heen. Thank you for your question. This is not going to go well. Hold on. Okay, go.
I was going to throw all 4 at one time and see how we can do.
Okay. Oh, nearly.
Oh, she did well. Yeah.
I did it. Townhouse Yarns, yes, that's the brand name. Sorry, thank you for answering questions as you go. So the fade has been made, and it is this one right here. I think if I step off, you can see it a bit better. Mustard Seed, Cirque, Hallows, and then Bonfire that has got pinks and burnt umber shades and all that sort of stuff going on with it. And yeah, a big filigree shawl was made with that in Townhouse Yarns Fade Street. That's absolutely beautiful. And you should be featured on the website as well. So if you just Google, you just search filigree in the search bar in the top of our website, then you should get some pictures of that. Okay, how are we doing? So, unexpected. Okay, Sinead Horst was saying she wants to make a stripy jumper, and she was asking for our opinion on whether Camaro's Heather Dagsold or a Samia would be the better option if she didn't want anything to be itchy. Okay, so this is another good opportunity to put some yarns side by side so you can see the difference in them. So Heather Dagsold they're both organic wools. This is sort of between Sport and DK. We've called this guy a DK because the tension listed on the ball band is 22 stitches. But I would say they're quite similar in thickness. On a side-by-side comparison, the Samia is definitely softer Definitely not itchy at all. I've used Heverdig Sult and worn it. It softens up on washing, but it is a little bit more of a woolly wool. That makes sense, a woolly wool. So if you were going between the two and wanted to make sure, if you had a bit sensitive, to go for the softer option, it would be this guy here. Okay, hope that helps. You'll have to come back. Emer says no question, she just misses us. We miss you too. Eliana, oh, yarn substitution. Can I come back to that, Eliana? It is another big topic, so we'll see if we got some time for that. And then, okay, cool. Some more kind of summary suggestions. Somebody was, Marsa Live 12 said she's hoping to use some 100% cotton 4-ply for a summer knit, but that is something that's not a vest like a sweater but made loose. And I immediately thought she was looking for suggestions for patterns. Thanks, Eliana. Immediately went to cocoa knits because, did I do this? Yeah. There are some really, I will fold down Andrea. Bye, Andrea, we'll talk to you later. These guys, I think, fit the bill, definitely. So that's Leonie from Cocoa Knits, so available on Ravelry, and you can just see, you can see that it's quite sheer in that pattern there, and this is just another version of it. And then the Bell sweater, which I am actually making not in a cotton but in Jenny's Tara 4-ply, which is a good opportunity to just kind of show you. I have been knitting just a lot of stockinette in the round, so it's quite straightforward. It's 17 inches of stockinette in the round to get going with, and then it will be turned into Bell from Cocoa Knits in a little while. So I do want to get a kind of cotton linen blend or 100% linen in. I'm just looking for options there because I definitely want to make this guy as well. So just really easy breezy knitting and easy breezy wearing as well. Sinead. Curls. Okay, I could do a whole live on products for curls if you want. We'll come back to that as well, or direct message me and I'll tell you. But it helps that Jenny used to be a hairdresser, so I get some cool insider advice and stuff on that. I think the main thing was the bedhead dream curls cream.
We're not using Foxy Curls.
Foxy curls. Foxy curls. Yeah, sorry, I'm mixing up my John Frieda and my bedhead stuff.
Microfiber towel.
And a microfiber towel. Yes.
Or just a cotton t-shirt.
Yes. So when you, and Carmen as well, Carmen, if you're still watching, she's got loads of advice on curls too. If you don't use a regular towel when you get out of the, try and put your product on in the shower, and then use a microfiber towel or a cotton t-shirt around, and then dry upside down from like soaking wet basically. So and use a diffuser.
I have one more. Sorry.
Oh, she's got another something. Is this about curls or yarn? Who knows? Who knows?
You put your product in when you're in the shower, and then when you get out, then there's a name for it. I don't know what it is.
Plumping.
Plumping. But you basically wrap your hair up. You like lie your hair over a cotton towel, wrap it up, and then tie it, and then just go to bed. And then when you wake up in the morning, you take it out, and your curls are meant to be all beautiful. There you go.
That was such a segue. Okay, great. And Carmen is currently sitting there with the t-shirt wrapped around her head. So plopping, yes. It doesn't sound very pleasant, but that's what you do. Plopping. Everybody's just gone right. Okay. All right, we'll do the hairdressing live next week then. Okay. I cheat as well though. I do use a curling iron on the top layer. Just curly tongs thing. Just wand. Oh my god. So like I get it curly, and then the bits that don't behave, I make them behave with the curling wands. so especially the second day hair. Oh god. There are loads of questions to do. Okay.
Today's live might have to come back on.
Yeah. We'll be doing a second hour. Okay, I'm sure I'm gonna make her talk now, right? So, Aaron, I love all the gorgeous. This is from Claire to here. I love all the gorgeous hand-dyed yarns, but I can't ever visualize how they're going to be knitting, how they're going to knit up. And can we give some guidance on that or tips? And what inspires you when you're choosing your color combinations, Jenny? I'm gonna go that way.
Okay. Sorry, I gotta read them again. Okay, visualizing. Sorry, here we are. Visualizing how they knit up. Okay, so without swatching, there's only kind of like a little bit that you can do, and that is what I would say, I would advise, is opening up the skein. So once you open the skein, you get a better idea. When it's skeined up, it can be quite difficult, and from, you know, when working in the shop, you know, we would be happy and have done many times, opened up the skein so people can get a better idea. So if you take a strand and maybe look at, how much is that? 30 how much is that?
30 centimeters.
30 centimeters. And you look at how broken up the colour repeats are, and like how, like, okay, everybody's inch is different, right? So see how that bit of pink only, like, what's that, at 2 cent, like, what is that, 2 centimeters? It's a bit, but obviously when you kind of knit it into a stitch, it's going to be condensed down, so, you know, right, maybe worth 2 stitches, like, so it's at least so much better.
You're going to get an overall mixed finish.
You're going to get it over, but so now this is an older batch. Every batch is different. It's hand dyed. So you can have a look at the distribution of the colours there. Yeah, it's
yeah.
This is a bit of a stump for me.
Looking at something like the Unique, which is a self-striping, so you'd see that it's down behind the knit tile book there, underneath.
Behind the knit tile. I don't know where anything is in this place anymore.
There's the light, the knit tile book, and then the.
Oh yes. So versus the, can I open this one up? Versus the repeats that you get from a self-striping yarn. So you can see, if you take out a strand, come here, that the green that I picked up, maybe green isn't the best for this light. Maybe I'll go for something darker. Because I'm wearing green. It's like not a good idea. Oh, separate. Okay, so this purple, it's so hard.
Yeah,
you sew in a single strand. It just keeps on going. Goes and goes and goes. So in that whole bit there, whole side of that skein, it hasn't changed colour at all. Very much. So you will get a more mottled distribution of colour with kind of speckled hand dyes. And, the purple one. This is called Unique Fingering, and it's by Earth Yarns, URTH. I'm like literally looking at it. My brain won't compute what I'm saying. I think I've been out of the shop too long. I think that's the problem. I just can't speak anymore. So, yes, I hope that explains things really.
The dazzle there as well.
Oh, sorry, the dazzle. We had another. I'll throw you in there with that and that. So this is the dazzle hat. No, it's not called the dazzle hat. The colorway in the hat is dazzle. Okay, and so in a skein it looks like this. Now this is a little bit darker. It's got a bit more darker pink in it, but you can see that you do get stripes. Why can I only see it in the screen?
It depends on the circumference that you're knitting. It depends on so much. I'm going home.
Lisa's the talker. I'm the dyer. She'd just be my PR person. So you can see that with this one, you get bigger areas of colour than in, say, I dropped it. Then say this one here. So this is like bits and bobs. And this is splodges. There you go. So technical. So technical. Does that help? I don't know. I'm not sure if that explains something. Makes sense to you. Thank you so much, Monica. We're on the same wavelength. Okay,
Your
so
inspiration.
inspiration. Yeah, just let me read it. See, she can't. 5 minutes. Sisterly love. We're allowed to speak to each other like this, right?
There isn't a camera rolling.
I know. Okay, so inspiration. Oh, you're gonna have me laughing now. Okay, what inspires you for choosing colors or color combinations? Straight face. Okay, so this can come from absolutely anywhere. I think that when the fade blew up, that really helped to... Don't speak. The word is coming. Oh, sorry. It really helped to broaden the range of colours that we had, because you were looking for those middle colorways to bring a fade together. So I created a lot of new colours based on that. Before that, it could have been anything really, like from mostly being in the shop. So like, you know, you get a lot of people going, I'm looking for this. And like, if somebody has an idea of a colour in mind and you're giving them options and they're going, no, it's just not quite right. Like, I want it kind of between that colour and that colour. So that always got me thinking, oh, I wonder if I can create that colour, you know? And also people kind of like, my mom would even be like, I'm looking for this, you know? And I was like, you know, send me a mood board and I can do it, like, you know? So it's a very, some of them have been really community based inspiration, because between customers and all other knitters and family that have requested kind of certain things. And also when sometimes I'm there in the studio and I'm just feeling a little bit creative, I'll just start playing around. So it's not that it comes from a particular place, or I don't kind of look up kind of certain imagery or anything like that. Usually it's a lot of free flow kind of creative exploration. Exploration, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's my... She's throwing things at me again. What's this for?
It's the colorway I want.
Sorry, we have another question. Okay.
Well, you can do that afterwards, but it's just that I found it.
Okay, we are going to talk about this color in Mr. Gnome. What's he with? What, I don't know which one this is. Joy has knit us many gnomes, but the colorway here, I don't know. Does anybody recognize this colorway from a promotion? A charity promotion. I'll give you a little clue that it was Countess Blaze that ran it. So we'll talk about that next or soon. I'll hand back over to Lisa now for a few minutes.
There's a point to this. We'll throw in random gnomes into the situation. There is a point. We were trying to, yeah, we'll come back to it. Okay, cool. So I think that was all of that page. Throw the pages away. So great. We have a little bit more time, so let's talk about, okay. Actually, the same person, Marcia Live, was asking if the patterns in the new book, Strands of Joy, which is coming later this month from Lina, whether the patterns are very difficult. Now, I had a look at some of the previews that are up on Ravelry. It looks like a very mixed level. There's nothing in there that I think would be for a beginner, let's say, but there are some kind of slightly easier colour work, simpler repeats and stuff in there. So it really depends whether kind of having a chat with you about what sort of things you've made before, about whether the book would be suitable. But certainly it would be, because of those different levels in there, if you wanted to start with the slightly easier patterns and work your way through, it could be a good kind of... educational book to go through. Do you know, so just start where you are and kind of get more difficult. Yes, Mary, you guessed the colorway. Well done, Mary Lynch guessed it. And I don't have a book that specifically teaches stranded knitting, but we are talking about getting a class together hopefully soon in that. So Anna Joanna writes amazing patterns, Carmen says, really well written. So that's always a good hurdle to get over. All the patterns have been really well tested, says Joy. So great. I think there's nothing in knitting that you can't do if you're determined and if you want it, and if you just break it down into, okay, here's this next technique, how do I do it? Take a spare bit of yarn, spare bit of needles, do it on a smaller scale, come back to your big pattern and go. You just have to have patience with yourself and the process and stuff, and you'll get there in the end. So can we see the pattern, the cardigan behind you? I won't be able to just take it down just a moment, but it's Portulaca by Carol Feller, and it's knit in Studio Donegal Soft Donegal. I can see more questions, but I do want to get to the ones that were submitted ahead of time. And Monica was wondering about online colourwork classes. We're going to work on that. And are we doing any virtual shopping appointments? Nancy was asking. We actually haven't been. We did do that at the start of all of this. Unfortunately, just with the kids being off school and stuff, we're not available during the week. And what I've tried to do is kind of condense the concept of a virtual shopping appointment to just 1 hour on a Saturday. So I'm hoping that that's kind of a good enough substitute for the moment. But if we can reintroduce them, we will soon enough. Now, and homebound yarn, Eileen Hogan had emailed and asked if the new worsted and sea veggies was coming back in soon, and yes, I hope to have that. I would estimate a week or two before that would be in. So we are coming up on the hour. We will dance back to If I Want Exposure for short, because Mary Reid has got a lovely skein of it, and she's looking to pair a partner colour just to highlight how beautiful it is, which is and bright and gorgeous, to make a shawl. So I think, yeah, just take away some of the things here. There were 2 colours, weren't there?
Oh.
Bonfire is, yeah, okay. All right, 1 second and she'll do that. Okay.
Hello. Is Mary on? Have we seen Mary?
I haven't seen her.
Have we?
But she
Okay.
might have.
So Mary Reid, like Lisa said, had a skein of If I Want Exposure. I'll get my beep. I don't know, I'm censoring this out. I think now I did do it. It was predominantly on Dame 4-ply, which we don't produce anymore. It was a 50% merino and 50% silk yarn, but I did do a small batch on Clarendon sock as well. So I'm not sure which one you have, Mary. But my suggestion for that, because there's a lot of pinks and purples and yellows going through it, it's a really fun colourway. What you need is something that highly contrasts it, and for what I suggest, I did say that we were using Bonfire as one of the contrasts against that, because did Joy use Big Bird and possibly, but sorry, 1 second. Okay, so this is Big Bird, and like If I Want Exposure, it is very much pinker and purpler. It's like the opposite of this one, with small bits of yellow. So you can see how that contrast works nicely together. But the other suggestion I had, which I think will be beautiful, really do, is, sorry, that was Tara 4-ply, so the Bonfire. I'm suggesting you use Tara 4-ply as your contrast yarn. But Iha is the Irish for night, so it's a lovely dark navy. Comes out really, really nice on Tara 4-ply, so I would suggest that as your contrast colour. Was that all?
I think so.
I think that was all.
Ask if anybody's any more questions, please?
Any more questions before I let Lisa talk to you for the last 10 minutes? Any more? While I'm here, I will just point out this beautiful little necklace that I got from Joy and Maureen for Christmas, which is knit stitches and little needles. I don't know if you can see that properly. Beautiful. Oh, sorry, but it's like a little scarf knitting or something. Very nice. I love it. Thank you, ladies. Any more questions? Or just start saying bye? It's been fun. I've enjoyed this.
Say.
Nice. Get me out of the house. How's everybody? Hi, Maureen.
All right, go on.
Kick me off now. Hi, everybody. I'm going to go back to my corner.
I'll shout out if anybody has one. Okay. With pink mohair from Claire to here. Claire, we think we did that earlier on, the pink mohair to match the pink salt plates for your love note. That was your original question, wasn't it? So if you want to watch back, I'll put it onto IGTV. But we had 4 lovely suggestions. Carmen says it's so nice to see your face. Aww. Thank you. And okay, so what I will do then, thank you for all your lovely peoples for joining, is see about going back for other questions. Reviews, yeah, stitch patterns, lovely, lovely, lovely. Just you always sort of phase out actually as you're going back through this. So, okay, unique name. No, okay. I might see if you had a question that I didn't quite get to, if you want to retype it, then I will take that again. I think I showed you everything that I wanted to show. Maybe this was one of the Camarose patterns that we're going to put up for Snoof Nook in the coming days. So it's a basic sweater my size, just really nice, a little bit of texture and stuff, which is lovely. And then there was the cardigan, which I do really want to make. Is that one there? Other options. Can you show a nice Donegal brown tweed? I can, and I might be able to get that. I'm not tall enough to get that cardigan down. But a lovely brown. Let's see. Do you know what? We've got more sort of oatmeal-y and olivey colours. So this is soft Donegal. That's the kind of khaki shade that the Dakite cardigan is done in, which is 5502. Just to get that up a little bit closer. The more brown one that we have is Donegal Wool Spinning Company, and that is shade 3769. So more kind of a bark shade, dark bark. And then we had the oatmeal in soft Donegal, which is colour 5508. Knit along colours available, please. Would you mind, Jenny? There's a blue basket up on top above there. I did show you. Here is, I think, the one that I'm going to do, which is the kind of teal blue in the darnie, mixed with these Super Split and Bad Girl Riri, which has got those little bits of blue and little bits of kind of orange and pink. It's like somebody got like cake sprinkles, put it on top. Also is pattern someone wanting to start knitting in the round. Is the knit along pattern. I would recommend, thanks. Sorry. Which at least didn't throw a basket at my head. I wouldn't recommend mittens at that exact pattern for being your first project knitting around. I would say try and just go with a basic mitten pattern initially, because it starts with corrugated rib, and then we got the rosamini, I can never pronounce it, the technique, the inlay technique, that we'll be learning on there as well. So, but there's still time in between now and obviously the 19th of February if you wanted to practice knitting in the round, even on a simple cowl, a simple pair of wrist warmers without those techniques in there. You don't even have to complete them. Complete one mitten and kind of say, okay, I get it, great, and then you can jump in with us. There'll be plenty of help in the Facebook group and all of that too. So that's the whole plan behind Knit Along. The whole idea is that we're all there to help each other. And I love that we're doing this together with other yarn shops as well. So there's just going to be lots of advice in there. Other colours. Thank you. These were the contrasts, and I think they went with, was it the blue? Yeah. Should have had them in front of me. But that was another combination there. Then we had that with, is there a skein of ochre in Ulla? Oh, is it gone?
No.
Oh, yeah, we were dyeing that, weren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so the ochre is, yeah,
Go in there.
go. Throw. Oh, okay, great. So it's those, this is just a different base, but that's what we've mixed it with, so it's shimmer and ochre. And I think that was mixed with, I think that was a light grey. Yeah, that was it. So, and that there were the 3 kit combinations, and then we were going to make another one that I showed earlier on in, it's at the bottom of the basket now, where it was trench and mist on a deep petrol colour in the Darney. So we'll have a darker one up there in a little while. So it's going to be good fun. Any other knit along questions, let me know. Thank you, you're liking those. And that's it. So what else came in during the week? Just we had Toft kits came back in, the stuffing if you were looking for pom-poms, they came back in. We've got a small, we got like half of a book delivery, so that's the two, is it two things? Oh yeah, so we have 2.5 things that have arrived in from the UK so far this year. So there's some books back in stock. Gleaners was the other thing, because people had been looking for the sweater defuzzers. Gleaners came in as well just yesterday, and we got them there. When more Chowgu needles arrived, we got a shipment of those yesterday as well, and there's a few more on the way too. Yeah, I ended up putting two different ones in, so there's another couple of days we should probably have a little bit more. Coconuts, still trying to get that out of the UK as well. Everybody's doing their best, and I know, Nancy, you're waiting on quite a few bits as well, so bear with us. I'm hoping maybe late next week, possibly the week after still, but bear with us. We've got some nice stuff coming as well. I've ordered more Hide and Hammer bags if anybody's interested in those, but again, that's probably about a month away from coming. If I'm being realistic, if it gets here earlier, I will shout from the rooftops as well. Jenny's got a box full of yarn here to skein as well. We did get some more of that, so it's all happening. Loads of things coming in. So anything you're looking for, let us know. Coming up to the hour now, yeah, we will be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And I can see more questions coming in, but we're about to get cut off, so if you want to just pop them over for next week's, or an email if you want an answer a bit sooner than that. Katia is on order, yes. Wait, just missed it. Bags, no, Hide and Hammer bags, we've got more ordered, and we were just checking that we would be able to get them out of the UK as well, so they're ordered, and I'm hoping, just depending on news schedule, because I know she has a little girl at home as well who's off school, but they're working to get them out to us as soon as possible too. Okay, so I think that's it for today. Thank you for my special guest, Jenny Flower. There she is. We were thinking about doing a feature actually of checking in with Joy. What's Joy knitting? Like a little 5-minute segment every week where we get her in on live, because we just keep referring to her. And little bits of that. If you have any ideas, other things that you'd like to see us do while we're all stuck at home, apart from Jenny who gets to come out just for today, let us know. And thanks again for everybody for joining us, and we will see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.